Hello guys, welcome back to this HTML and CSS video tutorial. In the previous video we were able to link our HTML file to our CSS so that we can use the CSS to style our HTML. In this video we are going to use that knowledge to create a very nice navigation bar. We are going to use the HTML to do that, and we are going to use the CSS to style it very nicely. Now that we know how to write some codes, let's go ahead and customize our setup or our environment for writing the codes. Now in Sublime Text, what I can do is I can change the color schemes of my environment by going to preferences. I'll move to color scheme and I'll go to idle to try that. I can go to preferences, color scheme, and choose another one like slash and puppies. Okay, but I'm going to stick to this monokaya, which is the default. Okay, now after doing this I can also divide my environment into columns or rows. Okay, so to do that I'll go to view and I'll go to layout. I can divide them into, or I can divide it into 2 columns or 3 columns or 4. I can also divide it into 2 rows, 3 rows, or 4 grids. Okay, so let me show you how the 4 grids is like, and you are going to get 4 workspaces which you can put, let's say, HTML over here. You can put CSS, then you can put your JavaScript, then you can put again maybe PHP or your jQuery over here. Okay, so that is that. I'm going to stick to the 2 columns. I like that one, so I'll go to view, then I'll go to layout, columns 2. Okay, so let me close this ones, and now that we have 2 columns I can write HTML over here and write my CSS over here. Close this, and let me bring in my index and my style. So I'll copy my contact, then my style also here. Okay, so in this tutorial, as I said earlier on, we are designing a very nice navigation bar. So starting with this, I'll just change the syntax over here to HTML. So I'll go to view, syntax, and I'll select HTML. Now after that I can type in HTML, hit enter, and I have all these over here. I'll give the title for this website navigation, so I'll call this navigation. Now inside my body I'm going to call my UL, and inside the UL I have my list items. So I have LI, and the first list item is home. After that I'm going to copy this. Let me introduce the anchor tag over here. So I'll say A, and I'll close the A. Okay, and we've learned this already in the previous tutorial. Now I'm going to reference this, which is the href, and I'll say index.html. and what this means is when the person clicks on the home page, it should take that person to the index page. We did this in the 10th tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, but before that let me change this to the hash sign. And what's the hash or the pound sign means is it's going to take us to nowhere. It will put us to the current page. Okay, so when we click on the home, because we are referencing it to the hash sign, it's not going to take us to any page. Let me copy these ones and let me paste them more. So Control C and Control V, Control V, and for the last time Control V, and I'll change this one to services. I'll change the second one to contact, and the last one will be about. Okay, alright, so Control S. Now let me go and view that in my browser. So I'll click on the contact, and you see I have home, services, contact, about. Okay, but because I'm linking it to the hash sign, when I click on the home it's still here. When I click on services it takes me nowhere. Okay, so that's what the hash sign means. Now that we have this, let's step into our CSS file and we are going to do some styling over here. So first of all, I'm going to use the selector and I'm going to select the element UL, okay, and inside my UL I can say the list style type should be none, okay, and I can give it a margin, which we know the margin is the size around the browsers, okay. I'll give it a margin of 0 and I'll give it a padding of 0 as well, and padding is creating spaces between our elements. Now after this, I can also set the overflow to hidden, okay, and this means when we have a test which is not working properly and the test is overlapping, it should hide that. In the future when we face that, we will really understand what the overflow means. Now after this, what I can do is I can call my list item. I will select that in my CSS and I will say float my list item to the right side of my browser, okay. So let me save this, go ahead, reload this, and nothing is happening. Now in the 10th tutorial, if you really watched and understood that, you get to know that nothing is happening because we are not linking our HTML to our CSS file. So for us to do that, you take the link over here, then inside the href we are going to reference this to my style.css, okay. Control S to save. Now when we go ahead and reload this page, nothing is happening. That means I'm spelling my style wrongly, okay. So it should be my style. This is the correct spelling for that. Control S again to save. Then let me go ahead, Control R, and now it's working for me, okay. So as you see, I have a margin of 0 as there are no spaces around the browser on the right, and also I have a padding of 0. As you see, it's adding the navigation together, okay. So what I can do again is I can float this to the left instead of right. So I'll say float to the left, Control S, and now when I reload it, I will have that on the left side of my browser, okay, and I prefer it to be here, okay. So I think I should end this tutorial over here, and in the next tutorial coming we are going to continue styling our navigation bar, and at the end of the day it's going to really look awesome with the help of our CSS. Bye.